You checked your phone and somehow it is Thursday already. Yesterday felt like Monday, but your calendar says otherwise. You pause because something about that feels quietly unsettling. How can an entire day disappear without you even noticing? Soon you wonder if your memory is slowly getting worse. But far more men experience this than most people realize. The real reason has little to do with intelligence or age. Your brain may have been tracking everything except the calendar. Once you understand why this happens, everything starts making sense. The hidden explanation begins with how your brain experiences time. Your brain was never designed to constantly remember what day it is every single moment. Instead, it focuses on whatever feels most urgent, important, or immediately rewarding. The day itself rarely feels important until someone asks you what it is. That is when your brain suddenly searches for information it never fully stored. This surprises many men because they assume time is always being tracked. In reality, your brain quietly depends on routines instead of constant awareness. When each morning looks almost identical, the days begin blending together. Monday can quietly feel almost exactly like Tuesday or even Thursday. Without strong mental landmarks, your sense of time slowly becomes blurred. Psychologists call this temporal processing, and it depends heavily on attention. Attention decides which details deserve space inside your conscious awareness. If the day never becomes important, your brain simply lets it pass. This is not forgetfulness in the way most people imagine it. It is an efficient brain choosing problems over calendar labels every day. The deeper reason behind that choice reveals something even more fascinating. The biggest reason days disappear is that your routine quietly teaches your brain nothing has changed. You wake up at the same time and follow nearly the same path every single morning. The same desk, the same conversations, and the same responsibilities repeat without much variation. Your brain quickly stops recording details because it already knows what comes next. This saves mental energy, but it also compresses entire days into one memory. Think about how slowly childhood summers felt compared with busy adult weeks. Back then, almost everything was new, so your brain captured countless fresh experiences. Now, familiar routines give your memory very little reason to pay close attention. The days are not actually moving faster even if they seem that way. Your brain is simply creating fewer memorable moments to separate one day from another. That is why vacations often feel surprisingly long, even when they last only 1 week. Every new place and unexpected moment tells your brain this experience truly matters. Novelty stretches your sense of time because attention suddenly becomes fully awake again. Once you understand this pattern, forgetting the day feels much less mysterious. But routine is only half the story because another hidden force is always at work. For many men, the real battle is not with memory, but with an overloaded mind every single day. Even during quiet moments, the brain keeps planning, solving, and preparing for what comes next. Work, family, finances, and unfinished goals quietly compete for every piece of attention. Part of your mind is already living tomorrow, while your body remains in today. That invisible mental workload leaves very little awareness for simple calendar details. Psychologists call this cognitive load because your attention has limited space to use. When that space becomes crowded, the least urgent details disappear almost immediately. The name of the day rarely feels as important as the next problem to solve. Your brain naturally gives priority to what seems necessary for your survival. This happens so automatically that most people never notice it happening. You assume you forgot the day when you barely noticed it to begin with. That realization changes the way many men judge their own memory forever. It is rarely a sign that your brain is becoming weaker with age. More often, it reveals a mind carrying far more weight than anyone can see. Understanding memory requires seeing how attention quietly decides everything first. The truth is, your memory carefully chooses what deserves to stay and what quietly fades away first. It gives priority to moments filled with emotion, surprise, meaning, or personal importance. The ordinary label of Tuesday rarely wins that silent competition inside your mind. A difficult conversation, however, can stay with you for years without much effort. Memory is less like a calendar and more like a spotlight searching for meaning. It shines brightly on experiences that feel important and ignores what feels ordinary. That is why entire weeks can disappear while one unforgettable hour stays perfectly clear. Your brain remembers significance far better than repetition without emotional connection. When every day feels almost identical, your memory stores fewer unique reference points. Later, those days blend together until they seem like one continuous experience. This is why many successful men lose track of time during busy seasons. Their attention stays locked on progress instead of the passing calendar. The problem is not forgetting, because the day was never deeply encoded. Attention opened the door, but memory never had the chance to walk inside. That discovery completely changes what forgetting the day really means. The goal is not forcing yourself to remember every date through constant mental effort each day. The goal is giving your brain stronger reasons to notice where one day ends and another begins. Even one small change in your routine creates a fresh memory your mind can separate. Taking a short walk after work can be a clear marker that today is different. Writing one meaningful moment before bed also strengthens your sense of passing time. Your brain remembers experiences far better than empty calendar labels alone. Pausing for just one quiet minute helps attention return to the present again. That single pause gives memory a better chance to record what truly happened today. Many men rush through entire weeks without allowing their minds to slow down. Awareness grows stronger whenever you stop living only inside the next responsibility. The more present your attention becomes, the easier time is to recognize naturally. You stop chasing the calendar because your experiences begin creating their own timeline. Small moments of awareness slowly rebuild the boundaries between one day and the next. Working with your brain always creates better results than fighting against it. That simple shift prepares you for the most important realization of all. The next time you forget the day, do not mistake it for proof that your memory is failing. Remember that attention shapes time long before memory ever has a chance to store it. Your mind was never empty because it was already carrying more than you realized. That does not make you careless, and it certainly does not make you less intelligent. Sometimes the busiest minds simply stop noticing ordinary details that seem unimportant. Understanding this replaces frustration with patience and guilt with greater self-awareness. Once you work with your brain, time becomes easier to notice without forcing it. The way your mind experiences time may simply be different instead of broken. Subscribe for more psychology videos that reveal the hidden patterns behind everyday behavior. You may discover your mind has been helping you more than you ever imagined.